Hi printmakers, the second week of the Adobe Illustrator project doesn't even involve Adobe Illustrator yet. So I still wanted to make a video because it does involve a draft for your eventual Adobe Illustrator sketch using Copic markers, which you may or may not have used before. So they're available in the classroom right here next to where I'm sitting. I'm going to try to keep them on the paper cutter in one common spot, along with a baggie where you could take your colors home and the marker paper, and you can grab a couple of sheets of that. So let me first run through the slideshow, and then I'll do a demonstration on how to use these. So the idea, now that you've selected your image, is to do a sketch of it using Copic markers. And Copic markers are great because they force you to start to work with a limited color palette. And so we want to step back from the silkscreen monotype to using less color, and then it's looking like we'll only be able to use 2 colors for a final screen print, given the timing of how the semester is going. And so if you would ultimately decide on the image that you want to use, you're probably going to want to print that in color. And like it says here, get a selection of Copic markers that match the image that you've ultimately picked. I want you to sketch out the image using your Copic markers in your journal pages first, and then on the marker paper. And this will be due, like everything for this project, on the Monday. And this is the Monday the 15th. I don't see you in class until the 16th, but I wanted to put Monday out there just to keep it consistent. And so let me pause for a moment and switch to the demo. Okay, so now you can better see where I'm actually working. I've tried to limit my color palette for this butterfly image, which admittedly I found online. Like I said, you can utilize your own photograph, take a photograph, or use an appropriated image. And so I've gotten 3 colors out because I'm conscious of the fact that I can't be using 10, 20 so colors in my final silk screen. This isn't necessarily what I plan to use for my final silk screen. It could be a starting place, but it's really more a way to start practicing with limited color palettes. So what I've started doing is on the left-hand side of the butterfly, using the broad end of the Copic marker and just doing some really chunky marks and layers. I wanted to share with you not only how to layer and utilize Copic markers, but also emphasize the fact that you can actually work with these even if you have a bold style, even if you have a light, more graceful, delicate style. They can be used in a variety of ways. So on the right, I'm trying to showcase a different aesthetic that you may want to try out. So, no, you shouldn't be trying any different aesthetics out. You should know your own aesthetic at this point. But I'm just showing that this should work for whatever way in which you like to create work, and whatever way you prefer for your work to look. So don't feel like all of a sudden you need to become this bold graphic artist because you have a limited color palette. You can still keep a light, delicate look, not only through the type of marks you make, but through the imagery you choose. That's definitely going to have a big effect. So here on the left, I'm going to stick with the bolder marks, and then on the right, more of an outline, kind of a graceful, more delicate approach. And so this would all be done at home. My guess is that here in the studio, you're still feverishly working on your silkscreen monotype. Obviously, if you were to finish that, you could most definitely get the Copics out and just work on this here. This is only stage 2. This is not the ultimate thing you're going to turn in. This is just a warm-up for the Illustrator project itself. So bear that in mind as you're working and as you plan your time. The class is sort of a test in time management, so you need to figure out how to prioritize your time this week as you finish your silkscreen monotype. So all I'm doing right now is coloring. You don't really need to watch any more of a video on doing that, but I would obviously finish this up using the darker Copic markers that I have, and this would be something you'd want to bring in on Tuesday, the 16th of November, so I could see it and then help you get started when you ultimately work in Adobe Illustrator. So just previewing that, this is coming next week. You'll be working down in the lab, but without getting too far ahead, let's just focus on reducing color and using Copic markers as we step towards Adobe Illustrator.